Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Guns for Hire. Welcome to the Gun Shop here on You Always Win. Now, I know this first article here, looks like I'm trying to stir up the fanboy wars, but really it shouldn't. It's not me stirring up the fanboy wars. It's me just looking at that and kind of going, where is this going to? As a gamer, as a person who owns both systems and, watching the previous wars and everything like that, really, if you're going to get angry, just calm down. It's just numbers. They can, it's more or less, why is it? That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in why is it like that? And the only way I'm going to get an answer like that is to read your comments, you as gamers, and not look at simply, the data that's spewing out there in the world of media and articles and other videos that are looking at this, trying to get you all geared up. I don't want to do that. I just want some input. So basically, the premise of the article, and of course, if you want to read it yourself, the link to that article is in the description below, but basically it's saying that the gap between the sales of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 is getting bigger and bigger. Right now, currently, or at least a few days ago, the total sales for the PlayStation 4 is at around 11.79 million units sold, and the Xbox One is at 11.45 million, whatever, tomato, it's a little bit. 11.45 million units sold versus 5.79 million units sold for the Xbox One, almost basically double the amount. Now, I can think about it when I'm looking at the, like I said, I own both. I can think back to maybe the causation was, those the unveiling. Did Microsoft severely screw it up? Was that what caused this sort of issue in it? And I'm not saying it's going to be even a problem overall. If you're thinking about, oh, well, it doesn't really matter, let's not get into a pissing war. Millions of units are sold for the Xbox One. It's not going anywhere. Millions of units are being sold for the PlayStation 4. It's not going anywhere. If we look back in time when the Xbox 360 released and they had a year jump on the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 3 was way behind. They eventually caught up, but it doesn't mean that either system is going to hurt in games, and it doesn't mean that either system is going to go away. So these numbers, really, that's why it doesn't really matter. But I am curious because that is a huge shift. And there's a big difference between the current sales gap of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 versus what happened with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. There was a monstrous, a way bigger price gap, first of all, with the PlayStation 3, which obviously hurt it. And we can kind of see that with the Xbox One. It was an extra $100 because of the Kinect. Maybe that was an issue. But also, Xbox 360 had a year head start. That is pretty significant in terms of the video game world when people are looking for the next system. With Xbox 360 launching a year before PS3, obviously it would have taken a lot longer. And it wasn't until, I think, the beginning of 2014 where PlayStation 3 in global sales actually surpassed the 360. So here's the thing. Both systems, Xbox One and PlayStation 3, released at the same time. What does that mean? Because there's no huge difference, in terms of when it's released. Like a year head start, I would have, that would be understandable. But being at the same time, and really $100 difference, is that really the deciding factor here? I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the Kinect in conjunction with the higher price, or maybe the other sort of features that they advertised. It seemed so long ago that it was there, and Microsoft has done so much, I guess, damage control to take those things out of there so that people aren't going all crazy, but the sales haven't changed, despite Microsoft actually, lowering the price, not making Kinect mandatory, which I would have totally bought that rather than the original, because I bought it day one. I know, hey, it's my own fault. The lower price and everything like that, the DRM, they took the DRM sort of craziness out of there, and despite that, there's been no real change in terms of the difference in sales. PlayStation 4 on a weekly basis is still outselling Xbox One almost on a 2-to-1 basis. So I don't really know what it is. It is certainly not games, at least not that what I can see. There's amazing games on both systems, but it's not that, if anything, and maybe I'm just reading too many fanboy comments, but it seems like maybe there's even more games other than the Destiny that dropped out, hate it or love it or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Before that one, it seemed like there were probably better games for the Xbox One. I bought the Xbox One first to get Titanfall before I even bought my PlayStation 4. Now, to be honest with you, my PlayStation 4 is sitting there and I gave my Xbox One to my son. I don't even play Titanfall anymore. And I like that game. I still like it, but I don't know, for one reason. There were some reasons I got fed up with something happening on the Xbox One. I can't recall. But here's what it is. I want to know from you guys, from any of you out there who were, say, Xbox 360 fans, because obviously there were a lot of you. We were basically almost sort of, equal amounts. They're so negligible, the difference between the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 global sales at the end, that, you know, it doesn't explain this big shift, because obviously there are 360 or Xbox gamers that have now switched to PS4, and I want to know why. So if you were one of those 360 gamers, if you were an Xbox gamer, and you actually made the switch to the PlayStation 4, I want to know what it is that caused you to do that. Why did you switch? Was it the price? Was it the Kinect? I mean, in all honesty, I think the Kinect issue is not really, if that's the reason why you switched over, seems a little ridiculous. I'm not saying that, you know, that's your choice and everything like that, but I mean, just because there's an additional peripheral, I'm like, oh, they tried to force me to buy this Kinect, and I'm done with that. You know, I mean, it seems a little silly, but hey, if that's your reason, right? Who am I to argue with your own, you know, reasons and opinions as to why you switch? But I am curious, if you were a 360 gamer, why is it that you switched to the PlayStation 4 if you were one of those people? Leave me the comments below. I want to read those as well. Follow me on Twitter and give me comments on that, because I'm very curious. I want to know why. Why is there such a huge difference here? You know what I mean? They're both Blu-ray. I don't care what people are saying. Even now that we're seeing, you know, oh, well, you know, this one, you know, we're seeing differences in games and what they run at, you know, 30 frames, 60 frames, resolution, all that sort of stuff. Whether you like it or not, there are differences in the machines, but negligible. We didn't really know those at the time. You know, even when PlayStation 4 was outselling the Xbox One, so it can't possibly be that, because we didn't know all of these differences in those performance things, which are really not really that big a deal, to be quite honest with you, but we didn't know those. So if, you know, even before that, is that your reason? Is that your reason because you're looking at all these stats and these articles and people are saying that if you bought one recently and you were a 360 gamer, is that your reason? Because you can see that, you think at least, and maybe not see because I don't want to sound fanboyish, but you can, you know, there's all these reported, constant reports of differences and better performance on the PlayStation 4. Was that the reason? Don't get all mad at me for saying that. I'm just stating what's out there. These are based on numbers and facts, not me choosing one or the other, okay? So let's not turn this into a pissing war, but I am very curious. Let me know. Follow me on Twitter again, as I said. Drop me there because I'm always reading this. The second that this video goes out, I'll be stuck to my Twitter and I want to see your opinions on that as well. I love video games, I really do. Hope you guys do. Leave the comments below. See you guys next time.